You are listening to the We Hired a Sitter for This podcast.
We hired a sitter for this.
We have a roster of like 7 sitters.
I'm spending $3,000 on paints.
Do you go to therapy?
Never have, nah.
There was a small fire. I put it out.
Real talk, the stakes are too high with my baby.
Comedy, parenting, married, life.
We do it all.
I'm a dad and I'm busy.
I have an opinion. I don't know if it'll be right, but
I'm Patrick.
my name is Gaston.
We hired a sitter.
Speaking of the news, hey everybody, welcome to We Hired a Sitter for This, episode 155. My name is Patrick Holbert, and this is Gastor Almonte. What's up, Gastor?
That's me. Hey, man, I'm chilling. How you?
We're over here talking green screens. Last 2 weeks' episodes probably look pretty crummy because I chose to wear green on camera.
You know, he's the dude that does this too.
And I've been policing your apparel for months now.
He's like, yo, you can't wear that.
Don't wear green. And then I show up and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change the technology.
You know, what's really crazy is that he didn't change and it's his house.
Yeah.
Like everything is at his disposal.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah.
Although Ross told me recently, she was like, I'm getting depressed by the t-shirts you wear. She's like, you keep wearing t-shirts you got for free from gigs or from whatever, and I turn them inside out because I'm like, well, I don't want to like rep whatever this thing is.
That's wrong.
So I'll turn it inside out, and then I got the seams showing, and I'm like, I'm a dad, I'm busy, I'm tired, I'll just throw on whatever. And she's like, it's really depressing me. We have to go clothes shopping for you.
Not surprised again. I am Team Ross on this.
Yeah.
Mainly because you're getting all the worst of the shirt.
Yeah, because that label on your skin,
that's
it's
terrible.
not good. That paint or whatever, it's probably doing something to my skin. Like I probably have 800 numbers on my back backwards.
Yeah, man. If you're gonna have at least if you're gonna have free shirts, have them be comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's a big part of the dad win.
Yeah.
They're like, yo, I'm giving up style for comfort, but you're not getting that.
No, no. It's totally deprivational mentality.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't deserve nice things. I got to take the money that I make and give it to my wife and my kid, and I don't deserve to enjoy my own money, so I'll just take the hit. I'll get this. I got these 5-pack black t-shirts from Target.
Okay.
I've been wearing these like a uniform, and I'm like, even my black shirts are depressing. She's like, yeah, kind of.
It's a beautiful sentiment. I like where your head is at in terms of giving to your family. I will say your kid might not care as much yet, but you are a representation of your wife.
Yeah. And I show up to school, I look
Yeah.
like a scrub compared to all the other parents, and I'm proud that I don't care, because when I was a kid, being a scrub, that was like the lowest. If somebody said, yo, you're a scrub, you wore that yesterday, that was the worst. And now I'm like, I'm wearing the same pants for weeks at a time.
Yeah. I mean, I wear the same clothes every day, but like, I make like if someone's like, yo, like
you got copies too.
Yeah, I'm like, I got A, I repeat it, but B, like my hat is worth more than your outfit.
Yes.
So I'm good.
Yeah, that's funny. Your hat and your sneakers are both extremely expensive or rare or curated. It's like top and bottom. That's what matters
That's
most.
all that I need. That's it. I'm happy.
That's kind of like a set, like you better kill it in the first minute and the last minute.
And you can play around.
If you could do those two things, people don't really care in the middle.
You fluff it up.
Yeah, so I got to get new t-shirts, and especially for the show. I mean, what happened was I had for years I would wear like J. Crew medium button downs was my size. I knew if I get a medium, that'll just fit. It'll look good. I like the cut of these shirts. So I had I had 20 of these things in different patterns, colors, whatever. It can look casual or it can look preppy. It could look whatever. And then I just started eating ice cream every day, and I was no longer a medium.
Okay.
So during the pandemic, I purged all that stuff, and I kept a few shirts that still fit okay. And I kept a few shirts. I was like, I'll get back down to this size. And now I'm just like, I just get depressed. If I put on a button down anything, I'm like, it's not working. So I'll just hide in these free t-shirts that are a little bit oversized. But yeah, she's depressed and I gotta change it.
Yeah, man. What are you gonna do?
I don't know. I think I'll probably get some button downs. I like a short sleeve button down. I'll just got to get the large. I'll just be I'm a large now, and that's okay.
That's fine.
I'm still on my fitness and health journey. I think I'm at the beginning of it still. So I don't know what my body's going to do. My body is just not like, it's just going to continue to get soft,
Okay.
That's the shape of my body.
It happens. You know what I mean? My body's soft. It's cool.
Yeah, we are a cuddly couple of dads.
Amen. I like it. Real talk. I've been making a push to be like to make bear a term that can be used by the straight community. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm a bear, and I think that should be allowed. You know what I mean?
I'll claim bear status.
Yeah, I think it's cool. You know what I mean? Shouts to the bears that are already doing it. You know what I mean? Like props. Y'all laid the groundwork.
Yeah.
But like I like the brand. You know. I support y'all. I don't want to do the other part of it, but I think that's great that y'all do. Y'all are happy. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
But like I'm 90% there with you. You know?
you got a beard.
Yeah.
Bigger guy.
Yeah.
Protector.
And I could be your wingman.
Yeah.
I'd love to show up to your events, be like, hey, not me, but like, yo, my homie, also bear, and he's here.
I want to come to the den.
I want to come to the parties. Yeah. Cape Cod, hit me up. I'm with it.
Check out the Cubs.
Yeah.
Bear Cubs. I assume that's how that works. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I don't know how it works either. I'm not that informed, but I'll learn.
Yeah.
I think it's a cool community.
Yeah, Provincetown, Cape Cod. I went there the summer after my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And we went with a friend had an aunt who lived lower on Cape Cod, and we go up there to go to the beach and have a good time or whatever. And she goes, have you guys been to P-Town? And we're like, what's P-Town? She's like, oh, you got to go to P-Town. And this is 1999, summer 99, and she was pitching it to us like you got to go to essentially gawk at people living their lives. And it was highly questionable, of course, and not cool the way she was promoting it. She basically was like, it's amazing, you're gonna love it because it's all gay people, and it's not just it's not your gay, you know, you got your gays, but then you also got people that look like regular people who are just gay, and they're just there and they're happy and they're on vacation. You got to go check it out. And I, at the time, it was like, yeah, sure, let's go have this experience. But looking back, it's like
regular people is hysterical.
Yeah, and it's like I hope she means well. I think she meant well, but she just was just missed the mark a little bit.
It happens, you know what I mean? She was learning.
Yeah,
that was 99.
Yeah.
I'll give her grace.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, I like knowing where gay people are at because I feel like it's an easy way to know where to make real estate investments.
Yes.
They're ahead of the curve on all of that.
Always.
They know what they're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the art scene goes. Then they go, then the prices go up, and then you make money.
Right.
And I think it's a good system, you know.
That's how the stock market works. There are very there are all these like highly educated finance people. The first slide of the presentation is always where are the homosexuals going next?
Real talk.
Where are they putting their money right
I'm telling you, they know because like it automatically like I mean I'm assuming there are shitty gay people, but I've not met many of them.
Yeah.
And then like they check a lot of the things that I want just by force. Like they tend to be liberal, like those places.
Mm-hmm.
They tend to be more open minded, like those places.
They like to party.
I like the party. You know what I mean? I don't know. Just there's so many things that I'm like, yeah, like I don't know, like I kind of rock with that. Want to be around that. Think it's cool.
Yeah. We're just a couple of bears who are, trying to connect with other bears in all possible ways except a couple.
Yeah, that's it. I'm with it.
Anyway, talking fashion, talking money, it almost got me thinking about this next thing I wanted to bring up to you that I can't quite remember. So, what else? You were telling me about your weekend. I was telling you about my weekend. I had this crazy family weekend of just like not like event to event to event, like from one thing to the next. And have you experienced this where like by the time Sunday night comes, you're like, man, I can't wait for the work week to start?
Never, no. Nah, that is insane work. I've had times where I'm like, I needed to not be moving.
Yeah.
But I've never been like, yeah, I've had too much quality time with my family. I need to go to work.
Well, it's like I need a break from the break,
Maybe that I could kind of get you there. Okay.
Like you start. I don't know. I start to understand how workaholism works, where it's like, oh yeah, like I will just say yes to more work, or I'll stay at work longer to like avoid the hard work of like the home life stuff.
Nah, I can't do. I look forward to work because I love work.
Yeah.
Not because it's an escape from home.
Right.
Yeah, I can't go that far.
Yeah. I guess I get tinges of it here and there.
Okay.
But
you got to know
that's
yourself.
very balanced of you. That's great that you're not in that spot. Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm very happy for you. I think that's wonderful.
Real talk, yo. Angry Patrick is kind of cool, yo. I like it, yo.
Passive aggressive, angry Patrick. No, honestly, it was a really pleasant weekend. It was a nice weekend.
Okay.
A big news in our house. The biggest change is I got a little bike seat for Franny.
Okay.
I don't know if I shared this with you.
No.
So I got my old mountain bike out. I got a little seat that goes between me and her, or me and the handlebars. She sits right in front of me on this little seat. She's got little pegs, and she loves the bike. She is so pumped to ride around town on the bike with me.
Beautiful.
So Saturday and Sunday mornings, we went on some bike rides around the neighborhood, checked in on some people. Saturday morning, we went across Flushing. There's this cement factory. We just stood on the bike on the sidewalk watching trucks like throw sand in this huge machine and mix it with the concrete. And we got honked at by a cement truck who thought she would enjoy being honked at, but we were literally like 2 feet from the truck.
Okay.
And it was so loud. And she goes, that made me a little bit mad. and I didn't even think of it from this angle, but I was sharing with Ross about that. And she's like, see, that's how it starts. Men think that we think they're cooler than they are. And they got to like honk their horn, basically gawk, like it's basically a cat calling connection. And that it's starting already for her at 4 years old. But yeah, we're just like getting into the bicycle. Sunday morning, we did the same thing.
Gotta tell you, I don't think you were tired of your family. I think you were just tired. Like you're pedaling 2 people around.
Yeah,
for 2
that's
days.
true. Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
Yeah, and both days it was like, Saturday bike ride in the morning, playground time. Then we went to Prospect Park Zoo. You ever go to that zoo?
I'm sure. I just don't remember.
It's like
at this
little.
point.
It's a little zoo. It's on like Flatbush side of the park, like all the way on the bottom end of it. It's really cool. But it was super hot that day. So, yeah, we're like doing a lot of outdoor stuff. And then I had a nighttime apartment show that was also on a roof, setting up that in the blazing sun. And then, thank God, the show was great. And then Sunday morning, another bike ride, Park Slope, playground, so that Ross can teach a yoga class, go straight from Park Slope to a 3-year-old birthday party where there's a bouncy house that I remembered when we walked down. I was like, oh yeah, we came to this exact party a year ago, and it was just like multiple 3 and 4-year-olds, just like WWF Royal Rumble in this little because it's not like a professional bouncy house, it's like a store-bought one, and it's just kids are going down and landing on each other. Like I'm waiting for somebody's femur to just like crack in half. I was like already planning the route from where we were to the emergency room. Thankfully, everybody was unscathed.
Barely.
So, yeah, by the end of yesterday, I was like, all right, I'm ready. Ready for her to go to school and for me to get back to work.
That's fair. I get it. Yeah, I think, mental breaks are important, and I think different things exhaust different parts of the brain.
Mm-hmm.
I think being super present as a parent does that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're allowed to say, like, I need some time away from this.
Yeah.
Not because I'm tired of y'all so much as I want to give you the best me, and I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
I need to recharge.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
Ross and I have had a hard, tiring day. When we come home and Peggy's here and she needs to go out and we fight over who's going to take Peggy on a walk.
Yeah.
Like, no, let me do it. I'll do it for you. And it's really like we're both fighting to just get outside with some AirPods in.
Yeah, I don't think enough. See, that's not enough people talk about that. This is honestly my favorite argument for the throuple.
Yes,
is parenting, because there's a lot of times when you want more of the family or all of the family to be there,
right?
But then the 2 adults are wasting the battery at the same time.
Yes.
There's no like there's no home base.
Yeah.
When you get home, you should be able to recharge, but you're both still equally exhausted. You can't pass it off.
Right.
This is when the throuple person comes in.
Yeah.
And you're now the battery.
Yeah.
We're gonna go recharge.
Yeah.
And you could do the stuff that like we normally do, but we take turns doing.
Yeah, with two parents, you're forced into man-to-man defense.
Yeah.
But if you have a throuple, then it's zone defense.
Exactly.
And it's dispersed.
Real talk.
I'm into that. I'll talk to Ross about it. I mean,
I'm telling you.
all of our dating has been like separately outside the family, but maybe it's time for us to bring a third person into the home, give him a bunk bed, give him some jobs.
Real talk.
It won't even be sexual at all. It's
No.
just a loving, caring housekeeper.
I want a 65-year-old lady to be the third member of my throuple.
Dude, that's my ultimate fantasy. If I could just have another mother that will just hold me sometimes when I'm overly tired, that's all I need. Somebody to tell me everything's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Somebody who's telling me everything you've told me so far in these first 15 minutes, but will let me cuddle her.
Yeah, I can't go that far. Real talk. That's my line.
Yeah,
I am happy you got to spend time with the family. I think that's dope. Like I know that when the school year starts, that happens less and less.
Yeah.
So I'm glad y'all got to like check that off.
Yeah, well, that's what's great about the bike is now dropping her off in the morning. We get to have a little adventure at 7:50 or whatever. It's like we're having a little cruise through the neighborhood to go to school.
That's awesome.
And she's like loves it. She's like a little thrill seeker. Like she wants me to go faster, of course. And I'm like, we got to obey the rules of the road because I horrible things can happen. So yeah, man.
See, I'm in the opposite end this weekend. My youngest brother-in-law is having a baby. So
congrats.
He was doing the
TOG.
Yeah, he was doing the what is that? Baby shower.
Yeah.
This weekend, and this is Gabby's youngest brother, my wife, and she hasn't been able to make his two other baby showers, I believe. So she wanted to make sure she was there. So she flew down to Florida.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
that's
so
great.
she was down there. She's coming back tonight. But the 3 days have been me and the kids.
Yeah.
And I try to make it fun normally, like, God time with me, Aiden, some fun artsy stuff with my daughter. Couldn't do any of that because we had a leak in the laundry room. So, like, all weekend has been, like, me, my dad, and random handymen just, like, yelling at each other through holes in the like, the hallway and in the roof and passing like CVP pipes and whatever the other words are, letters
PVC.
are. Yeah, there you go. I don't know what they are. Just like, yo, pass that, while like checking in on my kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, what I thought was gonna be like, yo, like we're gonna try to like I was gonna like I bought all this stuff to like cook together.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, we all suck at food cooking. Let's all learn to make a dish together or
That's
like
beautiful.
try it out. That was my plan.
Yeah.
We had Domino's 3 days in a row. Like it was just yo, this is the most convenient thing I could get on a budget 3 times.
Yeah.
Aiden loves pizza and he was like, yo, don't show me another slice for like a month. I don't want to see any of that. He's having have you ever made a Domino scramble? Like a Domino's omelet?
No, but I want to know.
It is fantastic.
That is, I can tell you right now, whatever you're about to say is my exact favorite brand of food. If it's cheap pizza that I get to have leftovers with, involving eggs, and
it's
I can
amazing.
feel like, what do you do?
It's literally just like an omelet. It's just you take the leftover Domino's and you cut it up into pieces, chop it up, and it makes a good scramble. The logic of it is if you get like one of the Domino's, all the Domino's toppings are things you would put in your omelet.
Yeah.
They're green peppers, cheese, meats. So just cut it up and it works. Tastes really good.
I'm in.
And it's a way of making good use of the leftovers.
Make it stretch.
Yeah. But we did that for breakfast one day. But outside of that, homie was having like cold slices for breakfast. And like I just felt like a terrible dad. Cause Gabby would not do that on the weekends. She makes like pancakes and takes them out for walks and they go to museums while I'm doing shows. So I was trying to do that, but like I was like, I gotta be in the house because I gotta make sure the work's getting done.
Yeah. What is the status? Did they find the leak?
We're wrapping up today, so normally I put my phone on like airplane mode while we record. I technically have it on now because I might get a call like, yo, I need to get into the apartment or something.
Well, if there's an emergency, please do answer it. I mean, I don't want your house to get flooded because
man.
we have this very important podcast to record.
Yo, man. But yeah, like it was 3 days of that, and like my son is usually pretty like even, but like by the third day he seemed kind of irritable.
Yeah.
So like I overly asked him, yo, you good? I'm like, yo, you okay? And like by the end of it, he was like, I'm okay. And I was like, all right, I think I went too far.
Yeah. I remember hating that as a kid.
Yeah.
I hated, how's school going? And how are you doing? Are you okay? Like, it's like, just shut up. Stop interrogating me. And you talk about something, and then I'll talk about something. You know, like, I hear that.
So, but like, I ask him every time he comes home. I tell him like, yo, I need to answer something. Like, you can't just be leaving my house for 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
Come home, and when I asked you how to go, and you said cool. Like that shit irks me, bro. Like real talk. Like, yo, you disappeared for a third of the day, my G. Like I need to know what my person was doing. All right, I made you
as a orator, communicator, spoken word artist, comedian, storyteller. It's like, have a narrative prepared.
Real talk.
Give me 3 bullet points. Give me a beginning, middle, and end.
Yo,
you can tailor it how briefly as you like.
But I need a story.
I need an arc.
I tell him, I was like, I need an arc, B. I need a story. I was like, something happened today of interest, of note. You studied 6 different subjects. You took a train in New York City. Yeah. You know what I mean? You telling me nothing happened that mattered? Yeah. And like my daughter's...
Who's the villain?
Something.
Give me some character development. I need names. I need descriptions.
So that he gets mad when I ask like questions like, all right, what'd you learn in this class? What'd you learn in this class? Yeah. But I felt that like I was like, all right, I'm gonna let it slide, because admittedly I know I might have asked too much. Yeah. And it cooled off. But then like this morning, I slept in because like my day starts later than theirs. Yeah. But I overheard them getting ready, and they don't curse in front of Aiden. Doesn't curse in front of me. She curses on occasion. As I've told both of them, I don't care if you curse as long as it's like it adds to the sentence. Yeah, yeah. But he still doesn't do it. But this morning, I heard them getting ready, and like I hear my daughter. She's like, yo, we gotta go. Our train's gonna come soon. And he's like, I don't give a shit. And I was just I don't know why, I just found that shit so cool that
it made you feel good.
Yeah, I was like, all right, I know like he got it out a little bit, and like he ain't go. I don't know, it just felt right, and I like that they have that like they could talk cool like that.
And it's cool that he is expressing frustration or anger or whatever he is, because like some kids don't have an outlet to even they're too scared to be honest about feeling those ways.
You got to let that off sometimes. Yeah. He's like, yo, I don't give a... And it wasn't like, it was the right balance of like genuinely teenager not caring. Yeah. But still like, I'm gonna do it. Like, you know, just I'm gonna get there. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And it's because they're different people. Like she's very like, yo, let's go. Like I got a schedule routine, and he's like, let it flow. Yeah, yeah. So,
and are they going to the same school?
No, but a big part of their ride is together in the morning.
Cool. So, I like that. Yeah. I like the idea of, as a parent, when you get a window into who your kid really is, or like whatever their biggest version of themselves is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because we have so many. I don't know if it was Shakespeare or somebody said, you know, we wear so many different masks. We have so many different sides of ourselves. They're always changing. They're always interacting. The different roles we play, the way we put ourselves out there for different groups, etc. Yeah. And like my dad just saw like probably the shyest version of all 3 of us. Like I don't know how much he got to see of us. And I know, but there are times like he's come to shows of mine, or he's seen me in party environments where he gets to see like the biggest version of me. But even if I know he's there, then it's still a little bit censored or whatever. But I like the idea that eavesdropping on your kids, which you weren't doing like maliciously, you just could hear them. You got to see like he can do that, you know, like he is that version too. So it must be like kind of reassuring in a certain way.
Yeah, it felt good. Like, and I know he has that because like there's examples that like we've had of different convos where like I realized that like, you know, he's a teenager, he's living that life. So like for example, we've talked a lot about the right room for a joke, because he likes making really dark jokes, and I find them hysterical. Gabby does not.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, like different parent. You know what I mean? Like know which parent you delivering that to.
Yeah.
And I was like, and as an example, I said, yo, you play on your Xbox a lot, right? He's like, yeah. He's like, you got friends there, right? He's like, yeah. Whatever they say, you find it funny? Yeah. Would it be cool if mom jumped in on that like Xbox exchange? He's like, hell no. I'm like, exactly. I was like, that. I'm not saying what y'all saying is wrong. I'm just saying that's not a mom room.
Yeah.
It's not a mom space. You know what I mean? And that's different for everybody. Like, I got a different sense of humor from you and your boys. Don't say certain shit around me that's gonna piss me off.
Yeah.
You know, and vice versa. So like everybody got their own pocket. But yeah, it's been fun like seeing him kind of explore and explain and get into these spaces, and also seeing the two of them kind of like develop their own bond. I've asked Michaela already. I was like, I don't need to know what, but I was like, the two of y'all got secrets already.
Yeah.
Like y'all have done something that I don't know about that y'all got away with, and I think that's cool. Like I think that's important. Like as long as you didn't do something blatantly like illegal, I think as siblings, part of the bonding experience is like solving something that you know mom and dad would be mad about.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, cool.
I like the idea of saying that to them and kind of planting a seed of like, oh wait, he knows or does he not? Does he know? Like, I don't know if he knows.
Real
but
talk.
He knows we do things that we shouldn't be doing.
Amen. Because it also gives me a little more security too.
Yeah, because it's like a psychological operation.
Yeah. Like I know one time I have the TV in my living room is like 20 years old.
Yeah.
It's an old flat screen that I've just carried around. And like 2 years ago, my brother-in-law George, he bought a TV for like a year, then one of the bigger one bought it, gave us his old TV that was still really new.
Yeah.
Gabby's really excited. We bring the TV over. We place it on the floor standing the day before. We can watch the TV, but we're like, we'll set it up on the wall tomorrow.
Yeah.
They get up early. They start playing catch or some shit in the living room. Break the TV.
Yeah.
I hear it break. Like I'm in the bedroom. It's loud enough to wake me up. I know it broke. Like the sound, there's no other thing that could have happened with the noise that it made.
Yeah.
And I heard them go from oh shit. Like just like just the silence of like, yo, what we gonna do? And like
oh, I've been there.
Yo,
I've been
so
there
great.
like 100 times.
And then like Gabby and I are up in the bedroom. You know, it was like Saturday or some shit.
Yeah.
So like Gabby and I wake up from the noise, and she's like, "What are you at? She's like, and I'm like, "Yo, chill, let them do this." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yo, trust me." And like I hear them try to figure out like a plan. So they're like, "Yo, we should put the TV back up and pretend it didn't break." And she's like, "Nah, yo, they gonna know." So the scratches on the floor, and like they talking it through. and eventually, it was I think Aiden threw something, and like Michaela caught it. I forgot how it happened, but like it was mostly Aiden's fault. And like they talked it over, and he was like, I'm gonna get in trouble, but I'm gonna tell her. And she's like, we'll tell her. And like they came to this conclusion together to both own it.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's freaking dope.
Yeah,
like,
that's beautiful.
Yeah. And they told me the full story of what happened that I had all heard.
Yeah.
I heard them explain it, so I had the full visual. And then I heard them tell me about it and take equal ownership of it, which I thought was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, like that's what we've been building anyway. Like that's the whole plan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They found the person that they know they could count on forever. You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, this is freaking awesome. That's worth a TV.
I feel like if it was me, I would have just been like, I don't know what happened. Yeah, we were playing in here, but we got quiet because we went outside. And I don't know. It was just, something happened. I mean, maybe the TV just like turned on and fell over, jostled itself.
There's a coffee table that my mom loved that like I chipped once when I was like 8. practicing my baseball swing in the living room.
Yeah.
And like I chipped it on one side and like I panic attacked on this. It was Saturday morning. It was the one day they both slept in. So I was like, I got like an hour to figure this out. I got the piece of wood. I'm looking at it. I tried crazy gluing it. I was like, nah, that looks stupid. I took it back off. Eventually, I turned the table around so that the chip side, right, is facing the TV. Nobody sees it.
Less visual.
Yeah, and this was in like April because baseball season was starting.
Yeah,
and I volunteered to add to my chores. And I said, yo, Ma, you work too hard. Let me do the table. And I did that shit till November just so that nobody would feel the chip.
Yeah.
And then November comes, we host Thanksgiving. So she's like, you've been cleaning this table, but like you clean it like a kid would. And like, I got to really clean this table now. And she cleans it and she finds the chip and like, she's like, how did this happen? And she questions my dad. He's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't fucking do anything in the living room. He's like, I'm at work. And she's like, I don't get it. And she's like, yeah, so you've been clean. I'm like, yeah, like, I don't know either. And I got away with it.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, I heard my mom tell like 5 of her sisters over and over again on the phone how her favorite table got chipped, and that shit hurt.
And
like
you're just like living.
Yeah,
you're living a lie.
Yeah, I was like, it's me. I'm like, I'm the problem with the sweet lady's broken table.
You're living a double life.
Yo, and like I broke down. She called, like literally, she called my tia aunt, my tia Cela, my tia Prieta, my tia Rafaela, my tia Anita, my tia Tonya. I'm like, yo, how many freaking aunts I got right now, yo? Like, she just calling all of them, telling them the sad story of like a mysteriously broken table.
Do you think she was being passive aggressive by doing that? Like, she knew whoever the guilty party is might hear her brokenhearted on the phone with cinco tias. And just like
the Five Guys alternative, by the way. I like that place.
Yeah. Like she knew you would just break down. Like whoever did it would break down eventually, whether it was your dad or you or whoever else. Like she's like, let me just do this psychological campaign of guilt, passive aggressively.
Yo.
And hopefully the guilty party will admit to it.
If she did, she's a genius.
Yeah, because it worked.
It worked. Like I had broke down. I was like, yo, Ma, it was me. And like I owned it, and she.
And it was 6 months ago.
Real tall. Like I had gotten.
I just wanted to play baseball.
I was saying stupid shit. I was like, I'm sorry, I was working on my swing. I had a good season. You know. Yeah. I was like, yo, like I won MVP for the team.
Yeah.
Like we made the playoff. I was like saying everything that worked out because of this swing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I felt terrible about it.
It's a modern day Casey Jones at the bat.
Real talk.
I
had to own
hilarious.
And like I feel like, and like at the time too, like there was also like the little bit of like, yo, this is like late November. If I don't say this, I might not get a Christmas gift.
Yeah.
You know, like I gotta own this whole thing.
I always thought about that, like things I did wrong that I got away with. Would I ever admit to it later to my parents? Like I can remember my cousin and I got caught shoplifting. I think I said this once before on here. We got caught shoplifting, and the manager of this store where our whole families, this was like a local grocery store, they would go there weekly. And so we were, they probably knew who our parents were, whatever. The guy was like, you guys stay here. I'm going to go get my manager. And the guy went to go get this other person. So my cousin and I were like, let's get the fuck out of here. And we just left.
Yeah.
And they never caught us or anything. And I can remember thinking then, this was probably 5th grade or some shit. Yeah. I remember thinking, I'll tell my mom about this in 15 years. Like doing some kind of deal with God or something where I was like, I promise I'll come clean about this. I just don't want trouble now. So I'll admit to it later. And I've always thought about that. I'm like, I never did tell anybody about
terrible.
It. I should probably, I don't know, maybe see a priest in confession or do it in the steps or something.
I own all my shit only because I also own all of my gripes.
Yeah.
I brought up every single thing that I was right about. Like real talk.
Yeah.
My dad, my parents bought me a bicycle, and they said you could ride the bike in front of the house down to like 5 houses down.
Yeah.
And this is the shortest bike ride in the world. Like this, you know what I mean?
They're like, this machine is meant to go long
I'm
distances,
supposed to
but
be
we're
like,
going to restrict you.
yo, and you know, like 5 houses on a block in East New York, that's
Yeah.
like 30 feet. Like,
And you have that beautiful park right by you. too.
yo, yeah. So they was like, nah, you go 5 houses down, that's it. And I was like, you know what? Fine. My bike is fire. I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of these
Yeah.
5 houses. Now, this was my first bike. They didn't teach me how to ride a bike. I figured it out.
Uh-huh.
But like I didn't know how to turn. So that means every 5 houses I gotta get off the bike and like crate
Pivot.
around.
You're doing
and, like,
a pivot.
I'm doing a pivot.
You're not even turning.
You know what I mean? That shit's annoying. I'm doing that shit, and the whole hood is laughing at me, watching me go back and forth, pivoting every 5 houses on each side. It's just crazy, you know? So, like, the corner building that was on the other side of us, it blocked his view, which is why he didn't want me to go to that building. But because the way the block was designed, that corner gave me enough room to do a full turn.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was like, yo, at least on one side I could turn if I go to this side.
yeah.
But he was like, nah, that's no bueno. But he went inside to do something in the house, and I'm going back and forth, and I was like, yo, he's not outside right now. I could go to the corner and do this smooth turn. So I did the smooth turn, and I'm hyped. Like, yo, that shit went dope, yo. I go again, do it 2 times, and I'm doing 2 laps with the smooth turn. Only got to get out and pedal and pivot once. On the 3rd time back, my pops is standing on the stoop. Like, where'd you go? You know? And I'm like, I was just turning on the corner. I was like, there's no way you couldn't have been outside more than 5 seconds, pops. Because like that's all it takes for me to go down this one house to the corner to turn. He's like, nah, that's too long. He took me inside. He spanked me, and he was like, I don't know where you were at. He's like, you went too far. I was like, pops, that math don't math, A. And B, I swear I just went to the corner to turn. So, like, when I was, like, 26, like a year after having a kid, I was like, yo, parent to parent, I only went to the corner. He's like, for real? He's like, yep. He's like, my bad. And that was it. That's all he could. He's like, I can't. He's like, what you want from me?
He's like, I want to clear this record.
Yo, he's like, right now, I got to clear my name. He's like, I didn't travel anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to the corner to turn. That's it. And he's like, I don't know. He's like, you could have been anyway. He's like, I was like, pops. I was like, I was gone for literally like 8 seconds. You just timed it wrong. Yeah. And came out during one of the turns.
Yeah.
But
how did your turns end up? Did you tighten up your regular turns?
I stopped riding bikes after that. I was like, I don't do it no more, B.
See, that's such an argument for like anti-corporal punishment, because you know, I don't know what his spankings were like or whatever, but like the parent thinks they're like helping the kid with these kinds of punishments, but he actually probably embedded like a fear of bicycling, like or I don't know, fear or just a deep resentment of bikes in general.
I don't like bikes. I don't like screeches. None of that shit. Tire marks on the floor, they all scare me, yo. Yeah, real talk.
You never got past that long graceful turn to a tight turnaround.
Never.
Oh,
and like this happened a few times to me too. My home I don't know if I told you this before. In 8th grade, like the last like 2 weeks of 8th grade, everybody started throwing like little parties. Yeah. Because like, you know, we graduating, whatever. Yeah. And my homegirl Joanne threw a party, and some of the kids were experimenting with alcohol. Yeah. You know, so they're like drinking. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I don't drink. They drinking, they turning up, they doing what they do. One of them spills a drink on me. Yeah. So the party gets shut down because the mom comes in and she smells it on me. Right. And thinks I was drinking. Yes. So now she started telling the other moms that I'm the bad kid. Yeah. And so like it was like a whole thing where like people were like, yo, can gas store come? And they're like, nah, we heard about gas store. And I'm like, yo, I'm the least problematic. I'm the good kid. I don't drink at all. Yeah. And I was telling them I don't want to drink. Yeah. So my name got like dirt thrown on it.
Your name was sullied.
Yeah. So when Facebook was popping, I hit up Joanne and I was like, yo, who's your mom on here? And she added me. And like I told her, I was like, yo, listen, 1996, when you smelt that alcohol on me, I'm a 30-year-old man with kids now. I'm telling you, bottom of my heart, that was not me.
I love this so much because so in 12-step recovery, you do this whole thing where you find ways you've harmed other people or things that you wish you didn't do or you're embarrassed about or whatever. And sometimes you go talk to that person. Sometimes, it's not every time. The movies make it look like you go around and apologize to everybody, but that's not true. Sometimes you do talk it out with that person, but you make it right. You own your shit is essentially what it is. But there is not a step where it's like you go through all the things you were right about the whole time.
Yeah,
and you go make sure people know you were right about it.
Real talk.
Because I think that would actually be a very helpful thing. Because 12 steps for a lot of people, it turns into... if you don't do it right with the right help, you can really beat yourself up for stuff that you shouldn't beat yourself up too much for. Like, of course, you got to like be real with yourself about what you should have done differently. But like, some people beat themselves down. Yeah. But yeah, you got to go back and be like, hey, you were wrong about me.
Yeah.
Or I was right back then. I love that.
I was so happy, and like she said, "Hey, my bad. Like, thank you for." She like for real was like, "Thank you for clarifying."
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I was like, "Yo, for real." Like, I wasn't drinking. I was telling people not to drink, and I didn't want to drink.
Especially if she has like younger kids, and she's gonna be the parent to more people.
I had to clean up my rep over there.
I had a similar situation. I was doing nighttime basketball, and I was like 7th, 8th grade maybe. It was like an after-school program, playing basketball, and I have severe asthma to this day. Well, now it's better, but when I was a kid, it was really bad. And I'm not great at running. I loved playing basketball and hockey, but like I would get short of breath easily. And we're doing, this is hilarious that they call these exercises suicides. You ever do suicides, like sprints? That is crazy that they called that in elementary school. We're doing these suicide sprints. And
that is wild work.
Actually, the other one was Indian sprints too. Do you ever hear that one?
Yo, Indian sprints, crazy. Suicides.
That's crazy.
The Indian seat.
Oh, the squatting against the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steal the bacon. We got some crazy names, yo.
Yeah, they're like, let's just make this as hateful and bigoted as possible. So yeah, I'm doing the suicides, and I remember the guy. It was my neighbor's dad was the coach, and he's just some guy. He wasn't a teacher, not an educator, just some dude. And he's like, "Come on, Patrick, pick up the pace. You got to stop smoking cigarettes. I see you around town smoking cigarettes. You got to stop." And I'm like, I fucking hate cigarettes. My parents are the smokers, which didn't help the asthma, but he confused me with my cousin, possibly. I don't know. He confused me with somebody, but he's just like, and he wasn't just fucking around joking. He was like, you literally have to stop smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, how do these parents come up with these ideas and then just accuse you of shit?
Yo.
Like, especially when you're like 11 or 12, and it's like, what? Like, I'm asthmatic, dude. Like, I need my inhaler, not a cigarette.
Yo, that's so unfair, because like 11-year-olds don't have the tools to combat that. You know what I mean? You don't have, and like you, especially back then, 11-year-olds didn't have credibility.
Although that's around the age when I got really rebellious, so I probably did tell him to like fuck off and gave him the finger or something.
But that doesn't give you credibility.
Yeah, no, yeah, and which then just reinforces this idea that I'm probably like smoking cigarettes out back.
Exactly.
When really I'm like, just can't breathe. Yeah.
Yo, that sucks, bro.
And that's interesting. Now I'm like, he was probably as old as I am now when that happened. So now I'm like, yeah, you gotta be so careful about how you talk to the children of other parents and stuff, because like, you don't want to accuse anybody of anything that they're not doing.
Yeah, yo.
Or Franny, man, the other day, I wish I could remember what she did. She did something like, something fell down, like maybe she spilled something, whatever it was. We were like, in the moment, it was like, oh shit, like there was a moment of shock of some kind, which she perceived as being yelled at, but really it was, I wish the specifics would help, but either way, afterwards she just started crying really hard and going, I'm so stupid, and we were like, no, like, and it's like, I don't know where that language came from, because we've never called her stupid,
right?
Or like, we don't talk about ourselves like that either, but it's like, yeah, kids are so sensitive to those outside voices and opinions.
Nah, that shit registers. It's crazy.
Yeah. Oh, but I love that. I love that you found that lady on Facebook.
Oh yeah, yo, real talk.
She's got
it pops up every year too, like, because it's a Facebook memory now.
Yeah,
you know. So it comes up every year whenever it's that time. But yeah.
Oh, you did it on her wall. This wasn't even a DM.
I did. Nah, B. I posted that shit public because I wanted my name clean.
Yes.
I was like, this ain't just me and you. You talk to people.
Yeah.
Nah, B.
Yeah.
I needed the community to know I didn't do this.
Yeah.
You know, and I've done stupid things. I've owned that too. I ran a casino at my church. You know, but it was a fundraiser. I did it as a good thing for the church. You know, I ran poker tournaments during the poker boom. But I remember telling the priest, like, yo, we should do a fundraiser poker thing. He's like, nah, we can't do that. It's a church. I was like, but y'all need money.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah, don't do that. And I was like, okay, we're gonna do this after it closes. And then we ran a tournament. See, I did that. I own it. I understand.
But did it raise more money than any other fundraiser in the history of this church?
Oh yeah, it did. Real talk. It also we had to stop midway through the tournament for 2 hours because we accidentally set off an alarm. And the police showed up wondering who was inside of the church basketball court at 3 a.m. You know what I mean?
God.
That was us. We tied it up with like we raised a ton of money because a quarter of the money went to the church from the buy-ins.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, we sold general tickets to come in because we had an illegal feed to like a UFC fight that night. So we had like TVs showing a bootleg fight and like a 10-table poker tournament in a church.
How many commandments were broken? Let's see how many.
But it was the greater good. Okay.
Yes.
Straight up. And we had like a DJ set up. It was crazy.
I mean, this could have been an episode of Bob's Burgers.
Real talk.
Like, that's hilarious.
It was a DJ set, and then like some of my boy I can't say, I ain't gonna say names like that, but he set off the alarm and he came out. He's like, yo, G, I set off the alarm. We got to go. And I was like, yeah, you crazy. And he's like, nah, for real. We got like 5 minutes before cops are here. And he's like, for real? He's like, yeah, it's happened before. You got like 5 minutes. So like we pushed the DJ table behind the stage, closed the curtain so that if somebody comes in and does a cursory look, it looks like a normal day.
What did you tell the cops you were doing in there?
We left.
Oh, you really
we straight
did
up
clean
like
up.
leave.
Oh, wow.
We cleaned up. And then we came back in and finished the tournament. We passed out Ziploc bags so everybody could put their chips in, and then we rolled the tables back into the corner. We turned off the TVs, and then we ran out and then walked down the block and chilled
And did the
on my
cash
homegirl's
out
stoop.
elsewhere.
So no, we went back in and we finished the games after. We waited for the cops to leave.
Okay.
But yeah, they came in. We went down the block and chilled on the stoop of my homegirl's crib so we could see the cops show up. They went in, they did a check, and they bounced, and then we went back in.
That's amazing.
Straight up. And we raised a ton of money. People got to do stuff. It was for a trip to like Canada for like World Youth Day or something.
For all the stress and the production up front, there's a lot of manpower that went into this event. And I know you're only high schoolers, but do you have it in your mind at any point like, hey, we gotta skim off the top to cover our own costs?
Nah, not really. We didn't do any of that. It was genuinely like good intention.
Yeah, you liked your school.
Yeah,
and you wanted to help
it was about that. It was our people who's going on the trip.
Yeah.
We didn't skim anything. We did the whole thing. The only I would say the only selfish part of it is that we all also wanted to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Like we genuinely like played hard to win.
Yeah.
But it bonded us. Real talk. I'm still tight with all those people.
Did you go to the Canada trip?
I
yourself?
couldn't. That's part of why I know it wasn't selfish.
Yeah.
Two of the people, me and my boy Heck, who like we planned the whole thing, we couldn't go. We sent other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, but we also did well in the tournament. Now I mean, we out here, baby.
I relate to the abuse of power of it all. Like like one of you, you were like the president of that club or whatever, right? So you
I had a key to like the whole church. Yeah.
So you abused your power because you had the key. I did that in college. I was the TV station manager, and I had a band, and we would use the TV station for band rehearsals, and I would just key in. We would bring our equipment. We'd practice, use the space for something it was not intended for. We would drink a lot in there. And then the drinking would lead to bright ideas like, hey, we should turn the cameras on and go live in the middle of the night. And we would turn everything on and like literally broadcast to the campus at 2, 3, 4 in the morning, doing crazy stuff. Like we'd play music or we would just like talk. We had like full on wrestling once. I remember there was some kind of fight broke out. And I think I have a tape of like a couple buddies of mine like rolling around, like wrestling on the ground. And we never got caught. Nobody ever saw it. Like nobody watched the campus channel really anyway. But like I did make amends for that. I went back like maybe 10 years ago now. I was like went to some event on my campus and I talked to the director of the department and like my closest professor. And I was like, hey, like, when I drank, I used to like think the rules didn't apply to me, and these are some things I did, and I really don't want to behave that way. I don't want to abuse power in my life, so I got to talk about it now. And this is what's tricky about amends. Sometimes the person's like, "Don't worry about it. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's ancient history," and that's what they basically said. And I was like, "No. You really got to understand. Like, even if I'm sober, I still want to live a life where I don't have to." Like I want to behave like the rules don't apply to me, so you gotta like just let me finish, you know. But yeah, the thing, the power of like having access to any kind of space to do whatever the fuck you want is so. I'm still like that, you know.
I gotta tell you, I don't even think it's a bad thing.
Yeah,
I think that is I think you earn that at your job or your place of authority. And I think that's honestly kind of like assumed. I think they kind of say, hey, as long as the ship runs and you've been running it for a while, yeah, you could do this. Yeah. It's within reason. It makes sense.
Yeah, as long as it's not like for nefarious purposes.
I gotta tell you, I'm surprised you don't have a whole bunch of rap videos of your band.
I probably do. We probably do from. I mean, yeah, I think there's like a couple secret tapes that
because you guys could have shot pro videos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, too bad the content wasn't like very good. Like, it doesn't really help to have amazing footage of terrible music. But man, yeah, we did all kinds of stuff like that. And recently, I think I talked about this on the podcast. Like recently, I did a comedy show at a church where they had like all this nice equipment, sound equipment in this storage room that was like not being well taken care of. It was just like piles of like speakers and mics and cables. And my first instinct was like, if they're not going to take care of it, I deserve to take this stuff. And I like really thought about like, and this was a sober comedy show, like it was for the program. And I'm in the back thinking of how I can steal shit from a church. So like, that's where my brain goes. I didn't do it.
But I feel like I would have asked, like, hey, yo, I would have done everything possible to, like, I guess, like, and this is kind of where the slippery slope thing could affect someone like you. I would have purposefully left it messy first so that it looks like garbage.
Yeah.
You know it's good stuff.
Yeah.
But they're treating it like garbage. So sell that part of it. Say, yo, are you guys using this? Like, it's just some cables you guys left around. It doesn't look like you guys are using it.
Yeah.
But, like, it would help me out right now. Like, you mind if I take some of these?
Yeah.
And now now, like, I'm sincerely allowed to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything grimy because they're co-signing it.
Well, so I would even offer them money. Like, some of the stuff that's like, I'll give you, like, that $500 speaker that's, like, being treated like shit over there. I'll give you $100 for it, you know?
Yeah. I don't think that's wrong.
But... So commandeering spaces in general, this kind of applies to, and we can wind down, but you tell me what you think of this. So this morning at school, they had a coffee chat with the administration. So you drop off your kid and then you go to the library and you get coffee and you chat with the administration. And when I went to go to this event, there's a whole line of parents waiting to go in, but it was like, I couldn't tell if they were waiting for the event. So I was just assertive, and I went up to the security desk, and I was like, I'm here for this coffee event. And they're like, yeah, it's up in the library. You can go ahead. So I essentially cut all these people because I'm assertive, and I was like, I bet I'm going to see all those people that are, like, waiting patiently outside. I bet I'll see them in there. But here I am, the parent that's just like, let me get to where I want to go first. And I get in there first, and then I meet the principal and a couple of the other main, like, players of this school. And we got a list of questions, and I'm like, hey, since you're just here, can I talk your ear off for a couple minutes?
Okay.
And I get all the information I need. I have a cup of coffee and a croissant. And then all those parents that were waiting patiently outside do file in, and they all sit down for whatever the event is. And I have to say, I was like in my head a little bit about being like the parent who I basically cut the line, and I went in a little early, and I got all the information I wanted, and I guess my mentality is like I need to take care of the stuff I need to take care of for my kid and my family, and I also have shit to do in my day, so I want to be assertive and somewhat aggressive to get the info I need and just take what I can and then get out of there.
Okay.
And then I basically left before the real event started. Do you think that is just a part of being a parent? You got to do what you got to do. You got to take control sometimes. I wasn't inconveniencing anybody. It was quite pleasant with everybody I talked to. I didn't like literally elbow past anybody or anything like that. But yeah, I guess what do you think? Like, what's your experience been with like stuff like that? Like, do you notice you just kind of have to?
I think you're way too hard on yourself. I think what you did is help all those parents because they would have waited forever. You like started the party. You know what I mean? If you don't go, they don't follow, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think every group does that. Like, and there's certain people that just kind of like, yo, we got stuff to do, and then everybody is like, yeah, we do actually. But most people are too polite to like do that. I don't think you did anything wrong by doing that at all. My bigger issue is, does the croissant count as the sweet that you?
I know.
Avoiding?
Yeah. No, it doesn't. Not for the program I'm on.
Okay.
Which is a self-invented program.
Okay.
If I got I did not have donuts. They had powdered donuts. They had the cinnamon donuts. They have the chocolate donuts. They have a lot of delicious donuts. I was like, no donuts for me.
Okay. All right, just making sure.
And it was a mini croissant.
Okay. And I would say
a real person who's really getting fit would say like, don't be eating nonsense croissants.
I will say the bigger. I don't think you cross the line as a parent. I would consider if it was too much of an aggressive move as a white dude.
That's
probably your bigger.
That's some of the subtext that I'm getting at too.
Yeah,
is
I
like
think that's some of it. They're like maybe in particular because you're in a very diverse neighborhood.
Yeah,
I could see that kind of being part of like your consideration.
Yeah,
but I would just be cognizant of it. Like, yo, this is what I look like. So like when you say something, check around.
Yeah,
see if somebody's like, hey, I was here first, and just ask, yo,
Yeah.
were you here before me?
yeah,
And that's it. You good. You can't change being white. You just there's nothing wrong with it. You a white dude.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, use your powers for good. Be great responsibilities and all of that.
Yeah, no, and that's so. It's hard to describe the physicality of what was happening. So there's like 20 parents on the sidewalk, like 20 feet from the door, just like waiting. And then one lady came out, and I was like, "Hey, is this where the coffee thing is?" And she was like, "Oh, I don't know. I think she was a different parent or something." And then the security guard's right inside, so I went in there and I was like, "Hey, is the coffee thing up there?" And I'm like 5 minutes early, And then and at the security desk there were two other women in front of me, and I think I am literally amongst all 30 people in this radius, I probably was the only white person. Mm-hmm. And I said to the two ladies waiting for security, I was like, "Hey, are you guys waiting?" Because the security guard was just chatting about whatever with the first lady. They were like buddies. And then the second lady, she was like, "Oh, no, I'm just with her." So then I went to the other side of the desk where it was like a sign-in sheet or whatever, and I talked to security about the coffee thing, and she sent me up there, or she radioed, whatever. The point is that I didn't check with the 20 people waiting outside, but like once I was in and the security, like I did just ride the wave of like, right this way, sir. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think you did anything wrong. I would, like I said, I think you checked in. I would have told them, hey, I think the people outside are waiting.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I think you good money.
And I also, the two women, it was the principal and then like one of the assistant principals or whatever. I was very clear with them. I was like, I was like, while I think I said like, hey, I hate to do this. I know like you're still setting up or whatever, but can I just ask a few quick questions? So I tried to make it clear, like I'm mindful that I'm taking your time now before this other thing actually starts. And but it was also like, we've been dealing with this since she started at the school. Like there's been a lot of like weird communication or challenging communication where we're like, we don't even know who to call or email or like which app they use to communicate with parents. So it's like a lot of like figuring it out as we go.
Okay.
And I can tell the teachers and administrators who are all seem amazing, they're also very much like that. Like, how do we get from this conversation to the next thing? Like, it's all so busy and
right.
confusing. So anyway, that's where the connection I'm making between abusing my power at the TV studio is, kind of what you're talking about. Like, am I just abusing my whiteness to get what I want and get out of there? And
I don't think the TV studio thing is the same. I mean, this might be my inner biases, but I just assume you went to a school with mostly white people.
Or it was pretty diverse.
Oh, look at that! Yeah, I'm wrong. I assumed the TV department was white people.
This is how. So my buddy Luis hosted a Spanish radio show.
Yeah, shout out to Luis.
He had me on as his co-host quite often. Patricio Blanquito.
The super diverse school.
Yeah.
I mean, with Latino cohorts.
Well, I was just like, oh, stage time? Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
If you ain't know, this is a Latino podcast.
Yes.
Right here. Like,
yes.
Real talk.
Excelente.
So yeah, I stand
everybody.
by what I said. So, I don't think, and also I just think at that age is more about like challenging authority. Like I know you apply a lot of that to your to what you've been dealing with your whole life with the AA stuff, and I think it's completely valid to see it that way. But I also just think a lot of that's just being a young dude with space for the first time. Like, I don't think that's all abusive power stuff related to your drink. I just think that's what young adults do the first time they get space, and they kind of find themselves in that. So yeah, I don't know. I really think you're too hard on yourself with some of that stuff, homie.
Yeah, I guess it's like with parenting or life or professional opportunities, like I've just always been like, yeah, you gotta ask for what you want, go for what you want, get what you want. And like I like that Franny is exhibiting some of that. Like like on the playground, like she used to like just steal all their kids' scooters and stuff. And of course it's like, no, you have to ask, you have to be polite or whatever, but there is part of me as a person who I didn't speak until I was in like 4th grade. Like I like that she says what she wants, asks for what she wants, all that stuff. So, but it can get there's a line.
Yeah, it's too much the other way. I agree.
Like
I def prefer my kids be aggressive and then teach them like to tone it down.
Yeah.
Versus the other way.
Full doormat where it's like you never say what you want or whatever.
Yeah, my daughter's def like good with that. She'll like chin check somebody hard.
Yeah, that's
she's done
great.
it verbally in class all the time.
Yeah.
Super proud of her. My son is like quiet power. I've been impressed with a few moments of his.
Yeah.
Where like he's shown a comfort in like speaking up more so with injustice.
Yeah.
Like if he feels something is being wronged, he'll tell somebody.
That's great.
So yeah, real talk.
All right. Well, it's been a great episode. It's good to catch up.
Word, real shit.
Maybe next episode we get into some Reddit questions or something.
Hell yeah.
I can start with a question for you about content that's appropriate for spouses and family. So tune in next week and we'll dive into that.
Okay. Let's do
right.
it.
See you guys.
Peace.